What's up, guys? Iceman here. Welcome to Chilling Tales. So this one is an attack for the ages. It just happened last August of 2024, and I'll post further details of this attack on my Patreon page. Become a patron if you want to support the Chilling Tales, linked in the description below. A polar bear. These animals are so formidable. In fact, they're the only bear known to actually hunt and kill humans, and often eat them while they're still alive. Now, I've told many bear attacks on this channel, many of which are black bears. I live in Michigan, and black bears are underestimated when it comes to their abilities. And they're very much so opportunists, where they'll eat a human alive. They'll dig out of garbage, they'll eat whatever they can. But polar bears are a different animal, and some folks don't know this, but they're actually the largest of the bears on average. Very, very thick skin. 6-inch fat. Very thick fat. Like, if they're to fight a grizzly, the grizzly's claws is going to have a hard time getting through to that. And a tiger stands no chance. A lion stands no chance. Everybody knows who's on the in that a polar bear is probably the most formidable predator on Earth. Very dangerous, very large. It can stand up to 14 feet tall. Now, this chilling tale had to do with a man we'll just call Ryan. Like I said, you guys can look this attack up, but I want, to an extent, to conceal his identity. Remember, I read of this other attack that happened in the 90s. This one was at a radar facility as well. Just these very remote locations, way out in the Arctic, way out in the tundra. And one bear broke into the damn place. The windows were only about 6 feet from the ground, so the bear stood up, looking through the window, and it ended up busting through the window. And then it hurled its body over and was inside the radar facility. And it just bursted through a room, attacked a man, just started eating his face off. Another man came running in with a fire extinguisher, beat the hell out of it, threw the fire extinguisher at the bear. The bear turns and attacks that guy. And then another guy grabs a 12-8 shotgun that they had locked away because the company had these certain policies where it had to be like locked away. Like, what use is it then? And of course, the purpose of the shotgun was to fight the bears if needed. So this guy comes out, blasts the bear, blasts the bear, blasts the bear. And finally, its carcass falls onto the man who had just killed. Just a bloody mess. Devastation everywhere. This attack happened in the 90s. And this one reminds me of that. So Ryan was a young man, very strong-minded, but he was sort of a, what do you call him? The kind of guy who just likes to isolate to an extent, be on his own, because that's what these jobs are kind of for. A lot of these jobs, you're just patrolling the site, right? You're just watching the security cameras. You're just chilling in quietness and solitude. And that's what he was doing. A nomad. These people live on the sites, right? Like, it's an interesting job. I mean, hell, I wouldn't mind doing it. For a time, perhaps. But Ryan worked on this site. And they had the shotguns in the little safe boxes. Just a vast flatland, a beautiful tundra. But yeah, the bears would be prowling. And Ryan would, on a daily basis, go out and check the different sites. They had like these silos. They had these other satellites. And you'd sort of take the little site vehicles that run like the tracks, you know what I'm saying? Kind of like a dump truck, or not a dump truck, but kind of like a bulldozer or something. Just so we could go over that vast Arctic snow and all that crap. He'd drive over all that stuff, and just sort of make it to one site to another and just go kind of patrol it, just go make sure the security systems are all in check, make sure it's all functioning, make sure all the lights are on, and then you go to the next one. And Ryan gets out of his truck and he sees something. Probably about 15, 20 feet in front of him. This was late at night. He could barely see. And it was snowy. The wind howling over the plain. And he thought he saw something. Just this sort of creature, this formidable thing, just sort of standing there like this, with just these red eyes just glowing in the darkness. And then the wind blows over. And the thing almost vanishes like a phantom in the night. Which is what these things are often described as. A polar bear, they blend in with the snow, obviously. So they'll get down on their bellies like this, and they'll tuck their head away. They'll even cover their nose. I'm not kidding you guys. Look it up, because their nose is black, right? They'll cover their nose like this, and they'll keep their eyes sort of angled like this so you can't see their eyes. And then you just kind of glaze over them, and they just vanish in the snow. You can't see them. And they'll pay attention, and they'll stalk you. They'll start crawling as you turn your back to them. They'll start crawling. And you turn your back to them, they start crawling again. It's just crazy what these things have been observed doing. Now, it's not very common that they'll hunt humans, but it's just a thing that happens, and it's something that we have to be aware of. But Ryan was looking on, and he didn't have his shotgun. His shotgun was in the vehicle. He was just dressed in his big North Face with the hood and the little fur over the hood, big old gloves, some goggles, right? And he thought he saw something. And just, you could hear the wind howling. And then he saw it again. He saw those eyes glowing. And then it just vanishes, right? Like the bear's just gone. Seemingly so, but it's not. It's still there. It's crouched down now, covering its nose, just paying attention to this. I mean, they get hungry out there. You know, what they primarily eat are walruses, seals, sea lions, sometimes whales, right? Carcasses that wash up on shore. But they're entirely predatorial. They don't eat seeds or berries or plants. I mean, there are none out there. That's the thing about these polar bears is they're 100% carnivorous, unlike any other bear. All right, grizzlies, they'll have a variety, like 50-50. Bunch of berries, they'll dig in the ground. Kodiaks, something similar. Although they eat a lot of salmon. Kodiaks eat a ton of salmon, a lot of meat. That's why they're so damn big. But the polar bears, 100% carnivorous. All right, these things attack walruses are like 1,000 pounds, right? They got the big old ton. I've seen videos of the walrus just spiking it down, just stabbing the polar bear with his tusks. It's just amazing that the polar bear gets all bloodied and just beats the hell out of it, gets him on the back, just tears into it, right? And these walruses, they have those massive tusks. It's unbelievable. I've actually seen a video on YouTube where the bear gets mortally injured. Fatally injured by a walrus. It killed the damn thing. But it was just so hungry and tired, this old bear. It ends up dying. It was quite sad, actually. But Ryan sees this thing. And now what we know from this attack, as unbelievable as it is, 2 polar bears were involved. So the other one came not from the front, but from the side. Now, they might have been working together. It might have been a sow and her overgrown cub, just a late teenager who's nearly full grown, but still sort of acts like a child. But one was watching him that he would see vanish in the snow, just like this. And Ryan thought he saw something. He's about 10 feet away from his car. His car's behind him. That Tundra vehicle's right behind him. he starts turning to go back. And according to all the paw prints, it seems like there was another one waiting for him. These stealthy predators, these phantoms of the tundra. Ryan turns, and boom, that's when the bear connects. The other bear that he didn't even know was there. Took him to the ground, dug into his corpse, ripped his jacket to shreds. You could just see these gaping wounds, just half eaten. Ate his neck, part of his face, bunch of his abdomen. His thigh, drug him away. The snow is just a bloodied mess. These bears feasted off his body. It's hard to say if something could have been done differently. I know pepper spray is sometimes used on these polar bears, but it's not always effective. The thing is, they have proven many times that when they're determined enough, it's not going to stop them. All right, there have been episodes of a polar bear just getting sprayed with the spray. It just doesn't give a damn. It just bursts right through the cloud and blindly just fights into its prey. It just starts eating them just blind. Just temporarily blinded from the pepper spray. And just eats them and eats them and eats them. It's just unbelievable. But this attack is quite recent. And I don't know. It's one to consider, you know? I know some folks go on these adventures where they go ride around and look at polar bears and all that. I mean, hell, there was another situation where a bunch of Cub Scouts, you know, those boys that go out and they go camping and stuff and they make fires and all that. They were out and this bear attacks the tents, just dragging these little boys out, just devouring their carcasses. And they finally got the bear settled in. I think they shot it several times. It ran away. But just a bloodied massacre, right? When these things want to, they can really mean business. But that's, I mean, it's kind of hard to say, you know? I mean, there wasn't anyone there to see it. It's a very remote place. There were two bears. One came from the front, the other from the side. He saw them just vanish in the night. It was just unbelievable. But these things have to be made known. It brings perspective, you know? Consider your day. Consider your troubles in life. And compare. At least you can get ripped to pieces by a bear or two. And I don't know, it's just I'm going to do some more research on this attack and others that involve polar bears. I mean, this one doesn't have a ton of information. And again, I'll post it on my Patreon if you guys want to read more details into this attack. But I do appreciate you guys listening. Let me know in the comments, what are your thoughts on it? What do you think of polar bear attacks versus grizzly attacks versus black bear attacks? Which one would you choose if you had to choose one? I'd go against a black bear because you can actually fight them off in some instances. But the problem is if you can't, it's going to eat you alive. But that's what I'd pick. Let me know what you'd pick in the comments of this video, and I will talk to you guys and gals tomorrow with more chilling tales from the Iceman.